Hi, in this video we are going to be working on solving a hard SQL problem. So let's begin. Okay, first of all, we need to do the following, which is going to sqlpractice.com. This is the website where we can practice our SQL skills. Then we need to select hospital.tv, and after that we need to click on view all questions, select difficulty hard, and show the first one. Okay, so this is the problem we'll be solving. And let's first get rid of this. And now let's read the question to know what we need to do. So it says, show all of the patients grouped into weight groups. Show the total amount of patients in each weight group. Order the list by the weight group descending. For example, if they weigh 100 to 109, they are placed in the 100 weight group. 110 to 119 equals 110 weight group, etc. Okay, so before trying to understand the question, let's see what we have, what information we have. So we have a table, which is the patients table, with information about patients inside a hospital. We have the expected output. So you can see here, there are two columns, patients in group and weight group. Also, if we click on get hint again, we get some keywords we can use. For example, select, count, order by, group by, etc. And if we click on get hint again, we can see a portion of the solution. So this is a line of code just to give us an idea on how to solve this problem. Okay, but if we want to do it by ourselves, let's first try to understand the problem. So the problem, I would read it and break it down step by step. So it says, show all of the patients grouped into weight groups. So we need to divide the patients into different weight categories. Then it says, show the total amount of patients in each weight group. So there are weight categories, and we need to specify how many patients um, are in each category. So for example, well, before that it says order the list by the weight group descending. Okay, so for example, if we have patients weighing from, I don't know, 100 kilo, like it says here, from 100 to 109, they are placed in the 100 kilogram group or category. Or for example, if they are from, I don't know, 80 to 89 kilos, they are from the 80 kilo category, and etc. And then we need to order the list by the weight group descending. So first goes the people with the most weight, and then it drops down the in descending order. So let's do that. Okay, so first I need to do select, and I need to select, okay, I need to count. I will count everything because I want to show the total amount of patients in each weight group. So I'm going to count everything as patients, oops, count. Okay, then I need to select also the weight category. So for this, I'm going to do um, okay. Okay, so to show the groups, I need to first, okay, so for example, let's see the table. So here we can see um, people with weight of 65, 76, 106, 104, 10, etc. But we only want to show, for example, only the weight group. So 0, 10, 20, 40, 50, like it says here. We only want to show that. So in order to do that, we need um, to make something so that we know for every patient where they belong to. So for example, this patient, the patient number one, its weight is 65 and he or she belongs to the 60-kilogram category. Okay, we understand that. So we need to turn 65 to 60. Okay, so to do that, we need to divide the weight by 10. So that's going to give us 6.5 in this case. And then I need to multiply that by 10 as well. So it's going to give us 65 again. But if I round this, for example, if I round this and I don't specify how many decimals, it's going to cut down to the decimal. So for example, yeah, so for example, let's say select everything and the weight as, let's say, new weight. New weight from patients. Okay, if I run this, see that now I have the weight and the new weight, which is the weight category. Okay, let's change this. Okay, so for example, at the beginning it was 6.5, okay, without rounding. Oops. Okay, if I did this, it would have been 6.5, but because we are dealing with integers and not float values, so you can see here, the weight is an integer, so it's rounding already. But just to make sure, because if we do this, it's rounding back to like without decimals, but just to make sure, we are putting round as well. And instead of selecting everything, we're just selecting the count of everything. And then we need to group by, and this was as patients count. We want to group by that. So as you can see, the person with the weight 65 belongs to the 60 weight category. The person or the patient with the weight 76 belongs to the weight category of 70, and so on. So if I run this, aggregate functions are not allowed in the group by clause. Oh. Okay, so maybe we don't have to group by that, but okay, by weight category. You have to group, yeah. Okay, yeah. That was my mistake. We need to group by this weight category. and we want to, because we want to count how many people are in the, I don't know, 100 weight category, 90 kilograms weight category, etc. So if I just do this group by weight category, let me just copy and paste this. Oops. And also I need to order by weight category descending. Okay, so now we have finished our SQL problem. Okay, I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, um, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Hi, in this video we are going to solve a hard easy problem. Oh, sorry, a hard easy problem, a hard SQL problem. So let's begin. Okay, first of all, we need to go to sqlpractice.com, SQL and linepractice.com. Then we need to select hospital.db, and after that we need to select view all questions. In difficulty we need to select hard, and we select the second one, which says show patient ID, weight, height, is obese from the patient's table. Okay, we select that one, we get rid of this, and we can start solving this problem. Okay, so let's read the question. It says, show patient ID, weight, height, is obese from the patient's table. Display is obese as a Boolean, 0 or 1. Obese is defined as weight in kilograms divided by height in meters squared greater or equal to 30. Weight is in units kilogram, and height is in units centimeters. Okay, so before trying to solve this problem, let's take a look at the information we have, the patients table. So this is a table with information about patients in a hospital. We also have the expected output. So this is the output we should get after writing our SQL code. And if we click on get hint, we can get some solution keywords. For example, select, case, and power. And if we click on get hint again, we can see a portion of the solution so that we have an idea on how to solve this. So I encourage you to solve this problem on your own and try to solve it. And if you are stuck or you are unable to continue, you can come back to the video and we can solve it together. Okay, so let's do it together. So let's read one more time the question and try to understand it and break it down step by step. So it says, show patient ID, weight, height, is obese from the patient's table. Okay, so we can begin by doing that. Select. So it's already giving us the name of the columns. Select patient ID, weight, height, and is obese from the patient's table. Okay, let me just format this. And from patients. Okay, then it says display is obese as a Boolean, 0 or 1. And then it says obese is defined as, and this formula. So it's telling me that the is obese column doesn't exist in the patient's table. So if we analyze the table, we don't see any is obese column, but we can see the patient ID here, the weight here, the height is here, and is obese is nowhere to be found. So we have to display it by creating a function ourselves. So first we need to define what obese is. So here it says obese is defined as weight in kilograms divided by height in square meters, it's greater or equal to 30. So if a patient has this this product of dividing the weight by the height, and if the answer or yeah, if they come up with something with a number greater than or equals to 30, they are defined as obese. And if they have a number below 30, they are not obese. And how are we going to display that? With zeros and ones. Okay, so if someone is obese, we are giving them a number 1, and if they are not obese, we are giving them a number 0. So in this case, we need a case statement. So this case statement is something similar as an if. For example, if someone's weight is greater than, I don't know, whatever, they are obese. If they are if their weight is less than whatever amount, they are not obese. So that's what we are going to do here. So first, let's define here. So if someone which has weight and we divide that by the height, it's greater or equals to 30, then 1 because they are obese. Else 0, and we can end this as is obese. Okay. If let's see if we can get it right as we run it. So you can see we get it wrong. And let's see why. Okay, so in this case, we are getting it wrong because I forgot to place when. Okay, so case when the weight divided by the height is greater or equal to 30, then it's obese, then 1, else it's not obese, it's 0. Okay, but as you can see, we got the incorrect solution. The solution is not correct. Why? Because here it says the weight is in units kilograms. Okay, so here there is no problems, but here it says the height is in units centimeters, and the formula needs or it's displayed with meters squared. So that's a problem. So what we need to do is to convert the height that is already in centimeters in the table to square meters. So to do that, we need to um, divide the height by 100. Okay, that's going to give us the height in meters. So, for example, for the patient ID number 1, it's going to give us, it's going to turn 166 centimeters into 1.56 meters. Okay, but we are not done yet. After doing this, it says that it needs to be in meters squared. So we need to elevate the height squared. So for that, we are going to use power and to the power of, and we need to elevate this to the power of 2. And so with this, we should get our query correct. So just to make a recap, we are selecting these columns, and then we are using a case stating that if a patient uh, has okay, when the weight divided by the height in meters squared equals or is greater than 30 for each patient, then that patient is going to be obese. So we are going to give them our number 1. Else, if the result of this formula for any patient gives a number below 30, then they are not considered obese. Therefore, we are giving them a 0. And we are calling that column is obese. And we are retrieving all of this from the patient's table. So if we run this, we should get our query correct. So as you can see, we have here the solution provided by the website. Here are some alternative solutions. And also the output is as the site wanted us to be. So here it is. If you find this video useful, you can leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, in this video we are going to solve a hard SQL problem. So let's begin. Okay, first we need to head to sqlpractice.com. This is the website. The link is going to be in the description. Then we need to select hospital.db because we are working with hospital data. Then we click on view all questions. We select difficulty hard. And after that, we select the third one, which says show patient ID, first name, last name, and attending doctor's specialty. So we select that one and we get rid of this. And now we can begin trying to solve this problem. Okay, so first of all, we need to read the question. So it says, show patient ID, first name, last name, and attending doctor's specialty. And show only the patients who has a diagnosis as epilepsy. And the doctor's first name is Lisa. Check patients, admissions, and doctor's tables for required information. So let's see the tables. So here we have the patients table, which has information about patients, then their names, their gender, their height and weight. Then we have an admissions table where we have information about the admissions for every patient, when they attended the hospital, what the diagnosis was, who was their doctor. And then we have a doctor's table with information about the doctors, their names, and their specialty. Then we have an expected output. So this is the output we should get from our query. So you only 2 rows. And if we click on get hint, we can see some keywords we can use to solve this problem. And if we click on get hint again, we can see a portion of the solution so that we can have an idea on how to solve this problem. Okay, so now I encourage you to solve this problem by your own. And if you want to compare the results, or if you don't get the correct solution, we can do it together. Okay, so let's do it together now. Okay, so first and most importantly, we need to understand the question. So I'm going to read the question one more time. Let's try to understand it, and let's break it down and do it step by step. So it says show patient ID, first name, last name, and attending doctor's specialty. Okay, so let's begin by doing that. Let's select. Okay, so we know we have a patient ID from the patients table. Also, we are going to select first name, last name, and the attending doctor's specialty. We don't have that information in the patient's table, but we have it in the doctor's table. So here I'm going to specify from which table, from the doctor's table, select specialty, and for the patient ID and these other two columns, because we have patient ID in multiple columns and first name and last name in multiple columns as well, and we want to show only these columns from the patient's table. So I'm going to specify patients, patients, and patients dot, and then the name of the column. Then I will specify from patients, and since we are trying to pull a column from another table, we need to join. So we are joining the doctor's table with the patient's table. But as we can see, there are no matching columns. So in the patient's table, we have patient ID as a primary column and province ID as a foreign key. And in the doctor's table, we only have the doctor ID as a primary key, and we don't have anything that relates these two tables. So for that, we have the admissions table, which functions as a middleman or a middle table, which connects both tables, the doctor's table and the patient's table. How? By the attending doctor ID is the foreign key, which relates to the doctor ID in the doctor's table, and the patient ID, which is also a foreign key, relates or references the patient ID in the patient's table. So first, we are going to join admissions, and let's just give it an alias ID on. Then we are going to connect it with the patient's table, and also let's give patient's table an alias PA, and then we can just write the alias here instead of the full table name on PA dot patient ID equals add admissions dot patient ID. Okay, so that's the column in common. Then we need to join also the doctor's table. Doctors. Let's give it an alias do and or doc. And here we can remove some letters and just leave doc so that we know that it's the doctor's table. And let's say on doc dot doctor ID equals add for admissions dot attending doctor ID. And then it says show only the patient who has a diagnosis as epilepsy. Okay, so let's do that. Where in the diagnosis is in the admissions table. So admissions table dot diagnosis equals epilepsy. Okay, so we only want to show those who have this diagnosis. And the doctor's first name is Lisa. Okay, so first name, it's in the doctor's table, and doc dot first name equals Lisa. Then it says check patients, and okay, so I think that's everything. If we close this SQL code and run it, we should get our result. Okay, so we got it correctly. So just to make a brief resume, so we selected these columns from the patients table, and to grab this specialty, we have to combine or join multiple tables. We had to connect the patients table with the admissions table, sorry, with the doctors table, and by doing that, we had to use a common key found in the admissions table, and then we had to only filter by those patients who had epilepsy as their diagnosis and whose attending doctor name was or is Lisa. So that gave us only two rows. This patient had epilepsy as the diagnosis, and the doctor name was Lisa. And yeah, so we had these two people with these criteria. So that's it for this video. If you find it useful, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Hi, and welcome to a new lesson. In this video, we are going to solve a hard SQL problem. So let's get right through it. Okay, so first we need to head to sqlpractice.com. This is the website. The link is going to be in the description. Then we need to select hospital.db. Then we click on view all questions. We select difficulty hard. And then we scroll down until we see the question which says, all patients who have gone through admissions can see their medical documents on our site. We select that one. We get rid of this. And now we can begin solving this question. So first, let's take a look at the tables. So we have two tables, the patients table and the admissions table. So these two tables have information. The first one about patients in the hospital, and the admissions table has information about the admissions for each patient. Then if we click on get hint, we can see the expected output. So you can see this is the output we should get. Also, we can see the solution keywords. So these are some statements from SQL that we can use. And if we click again on get hint, we can see a portion of the solution so that we have an idea on how to solve this problem. Okay, now I encourage you to solve this problem on your own. You can go to the website and try it yourself. If you are stuck or you are unable to continue, we can do it together. Okay, so let's do this problem together. Let's solve it. So we need to understand the question. So let's read it through. So it says, all patients who have gone through admissions can see their medical documents on our site. Those patients are given a temporary password after their first admission. Show the patient ID and temp password. The password must be the following in order: the patient ID, the numerical length of patient's last name, and lastly, the year of patient's birth date. Okay, so let's break it down step by step. So it says all patients who have gone through admissions can see their medical documents on our site. Okay, so that's just information, just giving some context. Then it says those patients are given a temporary password after their first admission. Okay, so that's also some context. So every patient who has gone to the hospital has a password. And then it says show the patient ID and temp password. And okay, so we can begin by doing that. Select patient ID, comma, oops, temp password. So it's for temporary password, I believe. And select from patients. But as you can see, there are no temp password column in any of the tables. So we have to come with a solution, maybe a function, a formula or something to come up with this password. So the question gives us some clues on how to do it. It says the password or some more like instructions. Instructions. So it says the password must be the following in order. So it's the patient ID, the numerical length of patient's last name, and the year of patient's birth date. So if we see the expected output, we can see the temporary password is just a string of numbers. So it's about 6 numbers or seven numbers for some people or more, but are just numbers. So those numbers, we are getting those numbers from the patient ID are the first is like the first couple of numbers. Then the second set of numbers come from the numerical length of patient's last name. So for example, I don't know, Sharma, she has, or sorry, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters in their last name. And also, so they will have, sorry, so they will have 6 in this number as a second set of numbers. Then it says year of patient's birthday. So for example, returning to Sharma, their birth date is 1957. Okay, so I believe for this patient, their temporary password will be 3, and then, okay, let's just write it. Will be 3, and then the length of the last name, so in this case is 6, so 3, 6, and 1957. So if we check with the expected output, we can see that we get the same. So we have the patient ID and their respective password, which is 361967. So it's the same as the one we have here, 361957. Okay, so we have to do this for every patient and every patient who has gone through admissions. So in this case, maybe we don't know yet, but maybe all patients, or maybe, yeah, maybe there are patients in the patients table who haven't gone through admissions. We don't know. So that's why we are going to select the patients from the admissions table. Okay, so to do that, we need to, because we are also getting the patient ID and the last name and birth date, that information only exists in the patients table. So let's create a password. So to create the password, we need to concat, because we want to um, combine the numbers from the patient ID, then the numerical length of the year, the birthday, oh sorry, the numerical length of the last name. So last name, and also the year of the patient's birthday. So okay, I'm just going to do this so that it's easier to understand. And I'm going to give an alias as temp password. Okay, then, and okay, I think that's all. But we need to make sure that are people who are from who went to admissions. So to do that, we can join admissions. Just let's just give it add as an alias on add dot patient ID equals PA dot patient ID. So PA is the alias for the patient's table. Okay, so now we need to specify from which table we want to retrieve the patient ID. So in this case, it could be from the admissions table, and we can concat the uh, patient ID from the patient's table. The last name has to be from the patient's table, and the birth date also has to be from the patient's table. So if I run this query, okay, it seems we get something, we're getting something wrong. Oh yeah, I know what. Because I'm concatenating all these three pieces of information, which are like columns, I need to close the parentheses. And here it says there are no such columns as p dot patient ID. Okay, I forgot to, that is PA, PA, PA. And now it says we have the incorrect solution. Okay, I know why. Because we are selecting, so you can see we have here duplicates. So here it's patient ID 1 and 3 and 3 and 6, and there are many patients who are duplicates because in the admissions table, multiple patients have gone more than once through admission. So here we are showing all those times the patients have gone through admission, but we only want a distinct patients. So if I run this again, we get the correct answer. So you can compare it with the solution provided by the website. And here are some alternative solutions so that you can compare how well you did it. So that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Hi, in this video, we are going to solve a hard SQL problem. Okay, so let's begin. We need to head to sqlpractice.com. This is the website we will be working in. Then we need to select hospital DB because we are working with hospital data. Then we select view all questions, and then we click on difficulty hard. After that, we need to scroll down until we see the question which says each admission costs 50 for patients without insurance. We click on that one, and then we get rid of this. And now we can begin solving this question. So I encourage you to go to the website and solve it on your own. The link is going to be in the description. You know how to, you need just to follow the instructions on how to get to this question. And if you have done it already, you can compare it with my solution. And we can also, if you are unable to do it, or if you are stuck, we can do it together. So let's begin. Okay, here's the expected output. So only two rows with one column with has insurance and another column name cost after insurance. So let's read the question so that we can understand what it's asking us to do. It says each admission costs 50 for patients without insurance and 10 for patients with insurance. All patients with an even patient ID have insurance. Give each patient a yes if they have insurance and a no if they don't have insurance. Add up the admission total cost for each has insurance group. Okay, so we have here the admissions table, and if we click on get hint, we can see some keywords we can use to solve this problem. And if we click on get hit again, we can see some portion of the solution so that we have an idea on how to solve this problem. Okay, so let's solve it. Okay, first we need to understand the question very well, and I'll break it down for you step by step to solve this problem. Okay, so it says each admission costs 50 for patients without insurance and 10 for patients with insurance. Okay, so there are patients with and without insurance. The patients with insurance are going to be uh, okay. The cost for them is going to be 10 if they have insurance or 50 if they don't have insurance. Okay, so how are we going to know which patients have or don't have insurance? Here it says all patients with an even patient ID have insurance. For example, if we check the admissions table, the patient with ID number 1 uh, or 3 or 5 or 7 or 9, etc., they don't have insurance. No, no insurance. And they will get 50 as a cost. And people with ID with okay, these are odd numbers, but people with even numbers, for example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, they do have insurance, and the cost for them for each admission is going to be 10 only, $10 or 10 bucks. And then we need to give each patient a yes if they have insurance and a no if they don't have insurance. We need to add up the admission total cost for each has insurance group. Okay, so we have two categories. They have insurance are going to be the yes category, and the don't have insurance are the no. And then we need to add, okay, so we need to group the yes and the no's. For example, yes, I don't know, equals, so for example, patient ID number 1 don't have insurance, so he is getting 50. Okay, number 2 do have insurance, yes, and he will get 10 as the cost. So we need to count how many odd numbers there are, and we need those are going to be grouped in the no category, and we need to sum all the cost for that group, and the same for the insurance or the people who have insurance, the yes group. Okay, so I hope it's more or less understandable what we have to do. So let's begin. So we need to select, and then we are going to use the case statement. And here I will say when patient ID, and then to find if they are the patients have even number, or the patient ID is even an even number or an odd number, we're using this, the percentage sign. This is going to be returning the remaining for a division equals 0. So what this is doing is saying if the number or if the value in patient ID divided by 2 has a reminder of 0, for example, 0 divided by 2, sorry, 4 divided by 2, it's equals 2. So it doesn't have any reminder, so it's 2.0, for example. So the reminder is 0. But instead, 5 divided by 2 equals 2.5. So odd numbers have a reminder that is not 0. It's another number, 5, 3, 4, etc. But even numbers like 4 or 6, they do have a reminder that is 0. Like this is a full number. So that's why we are using this to find the even numbers. Okay, so if the value in the patient ID, the reminder is 0, it's an even number. So if it is an even number, they do have insurance, so they belong to the yes category. Else, they belong to the no category, so they don't have insurance. Then we are ending this as insurance, and then we need to, okay, if we do this, for example, from admissions, okay, if we run this query, we are getting no, 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 yes, yes, no. So if I select patient ID, and then this case, okay, we get the patient ID and we get the category they belong to. So for example, the patient ID number 1, it's an odd number, so they don't have insurance, so they belong to the no category. And the patient with ID number 6, 6 is an even number, so they do belong to the yes category because they have insurance. Okay, so after doing this, we need to give, so people who have no as in the has insurance, they will get 50. They will their admission cost will be 50. So for that, we need to also make a a case statement and do the same. When patient ID reminder of 2 equals 0, then 50, for example. Else, oh no, sorry. Then 10, else 50. Okay, because if a person has an even number, it means that they have insurance. That means that the cost it will be 10. If not, it will be 50. And as cost. This is just an example just to understand. So you can see the patient ID 1 doesn't have insurance, so the cost is going to be 50. And the patient with number 8 do have insurance, so he belongs to the yes category, so the cost is going to be 10. Okay, but this is not the complete answer. We need to add up the admission total cost for each has insurance group. So we need to sum up all the costs for each category. So to do that, we need to instead do this. We need to count, because we want to count how many people have insurance, and that we want to multiply that by 10. So in that case, if I don't know, 10 people have insurance, by 10 bucks, it's going to give us 100. So that's the total cost for that group. Else, we are going to count everything times 50. Okay, if we do that, we'll get our answer. But first, we need to group by as insurance. And then I need to get rid of the patient ID because that's not required. And if I run this query, you see we get the complete answer, the correct answer. So we have group by no and yes, and we just got the sum of all the cost. So you can see here, it will have been enough just to not counting and multiplying by 10 as the alternative solutions suggest. So you can see here there are more solutions and you can compare ours or yours with those. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Hi, in this video we are going to solve a hard SQL problem. We will do it together. So first we need to head to sqlpractice.com. This is the website uh, where the SQL problem is hosted. And in this website you can also practice your SQL skills. Then we need to select hospital DB because we are working with hospital data. Then we click on view all questions. Then we select difficulty hard. These are the hard questions. And we scroll down until we see the question which says show the provinces that has more patients identified as M than F. Must only show full province name. We select that one. Then we get rid of this. And now we can start. So at the beginning, we can check the tables. So here you can see the patients table, which has information about patients in a hospital. And province names is the second table, which has information about the province, I believe, where the patients come from. And yeah, it's simple because they have a column in common. Okay, so now we can see the expected output. So this is the output we should get after writing our SQL code. But first, we can get some more hints so that we have an idea on how to solve this problem. Here you can see there are like some keywords like select, case, count, having, and group by. And if we click on get hint one more time, we can see a portion of the solution so that we can have an idea on how to approach and get the correct solution. Okay, so let's do it now. First, we need to understand the question, and I'll break it down for you step by step. So it says, show the provinces that has more patients identified as M than F. Must only show the full province name. So MF is referring to gender. So the patients are either masculine or feminine. And the table is shown as M for masculine and F for feminine. And okay, so that's the context. But we need to show the provinces that has more patients or more masculine than feminine. So for example, you can see this particular patient, the patient number 10 with ID 10. The province is ON. In this case, this is a foreign key, this is just an abbreviation. And if we go to the province names, ON refers to Ontario. Okay, so that patient, number 10, he comes from Ontario. So that's one. And we need to count how many people are in each province. Okay, let's say we have 10 provinces, Ontario, what else? Ontario, Quebec, Yukon. So these are the provinces. And for example, let's say in the in Alberta, there are 10 people who are masculine and 9 who are feminine. It's just I am going just going to write it. In Alberta, there are 10 masculine and 9 feminine patients. And so we need to show only those provinces who have more masculine than feminine. So in this case, Alberta is going to show or appear in the final output. But instead, let's say Manitoba has, I don't know, 20 masculine patients and 31, and I don't know, 24 feminine. So in this case, this province will not appear in the final output. So in the expected output, you can see only the provinces um, who have the requirement. So we need to do that with SQL code. Okay, so to begin, we need to use the select statement, and we want to select the province name from the province names table. And also, we can we need to specify from which table. So for province names, okay, if I run this, oh sorry, I need to get rid of the comma. I'll get the province name. But now I just need to filter, and I need to say where mm, where the patients or the count of M are greater than F. But here's a problem. I need to group first. I need to count how many masculine and feminine are there. So in this case, I will do count. I'll count everything. And okay, I will count gender. And gender is in the patients table, so I need to join patients on. And here we have a common column. Province ID is a foreign key which references the province ID column in the province names table. So on. So patients, I'm going to give patients an alias pa dot province ID equals, in province names, I'm going to give an alias as pr, oops, equals pr dot province ID. And I will group, since I have an aggregation, an account, I will group by province name. If I run this, here I'm counting all the genders, but I need to divide, or it's equal that counting all the patients. So I know that in Alberta there are 47 people with a value in the gender column, but I need to divide how many of them are masculine and how many of them are feminine. So let's just, for example, let's do count everything, and gender, I'll group by province name and by gender. So if I do this, now I know how many people are in each province and how many of them are either masculine or feminine. So in Alberta, there are 18 feminine and 29 masculine patients. So in this case, because it's fulfilling our criteria, Alberta, which has more masculine than feminine, will appear in the expected output. But in British Columbia as well, but Manitoba has Manitoba as well. Uh, this one as well has more masculine. Nova Scotia as well. Ontario as well. Quebec won't be in our final output because has more feminine than masculine. And Saskatchewan uh, 2 will appear because has more masculine than feminine. So only Quebec won't appear. But I cannot filter by where province name equals Quebec because if we could do only once the query, I cannot do this. So I'm just doing this to explain to you uh, the thought process and the step by step. I'm breaking down the problem so that we can understand it better. So in order for us to just select the ones who have masculine greater than feminine, I need to use the having. Here's our filter. Having, and now I'll say having count, and here I need to specify. So okay, so having count, and I will say when, sorry, I will use a case statement, case when gender, I'll just use pa.gender equals m, then 1, n. So this is what it's doing. It's every patient who is masculine is giving, it's making another column, and it's giving that patient the number 1. So in this case, because we are counting and we are grouping, in this case we are counting, it's count how many people have are masculine, and just it's going to add up 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So yeah. So then I need to say when that is greater than count case when patients.gender equals f, then 1 n. So in this case, it's also counting how many people are in the f feminine or are feminine, and it's giving number 1, and it's summing all of that. So if the sum of the masculine or males are greater than the sum of females in any province, it's going to return only the province name. Okay? So if I run this, here it says I have an error. Okay, so I just get rid of gender here and the count and also gender here. So in this case, it's only grouping by province name, and the count is happening in the having statement, all the filter. So if I run this, I'll get the correct answer. And here are some alternative solutions. So there are many ways to come with a solution. So in this case, I have explained it to you. And if you find this video useful, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Hi, in this video, we are going to solve a hard SQL problem. Okay, so first we need to head to sqlpractice.com. This is the website where you can enhance and practice your SQL skills. Then we need to select hospitals.db. Then we need to click on view all questions. In difficulty, we are selecting hard, and we will scroll down until we see this question which says we are looking for a specific patient pull all columns for the patient who matches the following criteria. We click on that one, we get rid of this, and we can begin solving this problem. So first we can take a look at the table. So we have a patients table, which has information about patients in a hospital. If I click on this green arrow, I can see the individual rows. If I click in expected output, this is the output we should get. So this is the patient they are asking for. And if I click on get hint again, I can see some keywords I can use to solve this problem. And if I click on get hint again, I can get a portion of the solution. So let's read the question one more time and let's try to solve it and break it down step by step. So it says, we are looking for a specific patient. Pull all columns for the patient who matches the following criteria. First name contains an R after the first two letters, identifies their gender as F, born in February, May, or December. Their weight will be between 60 kilograms and 80 kilograms. Their patient ID is an odd number, and they are from the city Kingston. So this is some specific, very specific information for looking for patients or for a specific patient. So let's begin by using select, and we need to select everything because it says pull all columns, and I need to just select the table, so it's from patients, and I need to filter following this criteria. So the first name contains an R after the first two letters. So I'll say where first name. So first name like, and then contains an R. So two underscores, an R, and then a wildcard. So just to say that doesn't matter how many characters come after the R. I just need that the R needs to be at the third place. Then it says identifies their gender as F. Okay, so gender equals F, I believe for female, was born in either February, May, or December. So born, okay, so I have information in the birth date, so and birth date. So to specify three or more months, I need to say and month, because I have the birth date, the complete date, but I just want the month. In, and I use in instead of equals because I want to match more than one result. So in this case, February is the second month, May is the fifth month, and December is the 12th month. And also says the weight has to be between 60 and 80 kilograms. And weight, I can see here, okay, weight between 60 and 80. Okay, and I have no problems using numbers because the weight is an integer. And then it says, and the patient ID is an odd number. And okay, patient ID, the remainder of 2, the remainder dividing by 2, it's not equals to 0. So in this case, it's just dividing the patient ID number by 2, and if the result has a remainder, like a decimal, then it's an odd number, so it's not equal to 0. And the patient is from the city Kingston. So I have a city column, okay, and city equals. Here I'm using equals because I just want to compare it with only one value, or has to be just one value. Okay, I will use Control and Q to format this so that it's easier to understand. I close the query and we should get everything correct. So as you can see here, we got everything correct. It was not so hard. We just had so many criteria to filter. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, in this video we are going to solve a hard SQL problem. So this problem is in the SQLpractice.com website. This website will allow you to practice and enhance your SQL skills. Okay, so after going to the website, we need to click on Hospital DB because we are working with hospital data. Then we click on View All Questions. We select difficulty hard, and then we scroll down until we see the question which says, show the percent of patients that have M as their gender. We click on that one, then we get rid of this, and we can begin solving this problem. So we can take a look at the table. So here we have the patients table and the name of the columns and the individual rows. If we click on expected output, this is the output we should get after writing and running our code. If we click on get hint again, we can see some keywords we can use. So we can use the select statement, concat, round, count, and where. These are just solution suggestions. And if we click on get hint again, we can see a portion of the solution so that we can have an idea on how to solve this problem. But we will do it ourselves. And I encourage you to pause the video and try to do it yourself. And if you are stuck or you are unable to continue, or if you don't get the correct solution, you can resume the video and you can compare my solution with yours and you can follow me. Okay, so let's read the question and let's try to understand it and break it down and do the solution step by step. So it says, show the percent of patients that have M as their gender. I believe M is for males. Round the answer to the nearest hundredth number and in percent form. Okay, so let's say that, so the first part says, show the percent of patients that have M as their gender. So if we have, for example, 100 patients and 50 of them are have M in the gender column, that means that the percent is going to be 50%. But if we had like 50.1, we had to round that number to the nearest hundredth. So in that case, it will be, instead of 50.1, it will be just 50. And also we need to show in percent form. So it has to be, we need to show the percent sign at the end of the number. So yeah, that's it. Let's begin. So first I will use the select statement, and then I'll use concat because I want to show a number and then a string, or a float and then a string. Then I will round because it says that I need to round. So I just need to, so to get the percent, I need to count how many patients there are. So in this case, we have 4,050. Okay, I can count, for example, select count distinct patient ID from patients. If I run this query, I get 4,530 patients. Okay, and then I need to count how many of them have M in the gender column. So I can count everything from patients where gender equals M. So if I run this, I know that I have there are 2,468 males or patients uh, with M as the gender. So that's some close to half. Remember, the number of all patients was 4,530. So I'll just write it. Write it. So total number of patients is 4,530, and the total M is 2,468. So I need to show the percent. So this amount, what is the percent from the total? So for that, I need to make a formula. So that formula will be, I need to, if this is if this is 100%, what is the percent in this case? So I need to multiply this number by 100 and then divide that number by the total number of patients. So I'll do this. So select, okay, I need to again count everything, and I need to divide that by this number, and that number I got it from doing by counting everything from patients. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a subquery. I'm writing a query inside another query. So I want a query to give me this number and another query to give me this one. So I already have this one. Uh, the count, which is going to give me this number, and this query is going to give me this other number, and I'm going to divide. Okay, I need to divide this one by this one, so this was wrong. I need to do this. Select account everything from patients where gender equals M. Okay, and okay, I have this one. So if I run it, it's going to give me the total males, and I need also to divide that by select count everything. Oops. From patients. Okay, I have 0. Why? Because I forgot to multiply this by 100, and now I have 54. But in the expected output, I need to also show the decimals. So instead of just multiplying by 100, I need to multiply by 100.0. So that's going to turn this number into a float data type. So you can see I get now the decimals, but I only want the first two decimals and not this long number. So I need to round all of this. Oh, so maybe this is getting a little bit hard to understand. Okay, so I'm getting this number, I'm multiplying by 100, I'm rounding it to only show the first two decimals. And then I almost done. I just need to include the percent sign. So to do that, I need to concat this result just to make it more clearer. And I'm concatenating, combining it with the percent sign. So as you can see, if you get confused with all this um, parentheses, okay, so I'm concatenating all of this. So I'm combining this result, and at the end, I'm placing the percent sign, and I'm rounding this result, and just to two decimals, and the result is the counting of the patients who have M as their gender, so this number. I'm multiplying this number by 100, and that's just going to give me this number, and I'm dividing this number by this number, which is the total number of patients, and that number is from this query. So I'm doing that, and if I run this query, I should get the correct answer. So you can see we get the correct answer. Here are some alternative solutions. And okay, that's it for this query. If you find it useful, don't forget to follow me, and I'll see you in the next video. Hi. In this video, we are going to solve a difficult SQL problem or a hard SQL problem. So to do that, we need to head to sqlpractice.com. Then we need to select Hospital DB, and we need to click on View All Questions. Difficulty, we are selecting hard, and we scroll down until we see the question which says, for each day, display the total amount of admissions on that day. Display that amount changed from the previous day. We select that one, and the link of this website is going to be in the description. Then we need to get rid of this, and we can begin solving this problem. So before doing that, we can take a look at the table we have. So this is the admissions table, which with information about the admission for each patient in a hospital. So the day they entered the hospital, the day they left the hospital, and the diagnosis they got. Here is the expected output. You can see we have an admission date, an admission day, an admission count, change, and that's all. The result is 365 rows long. And if we click on get hint again, we get some keywords, for example, with, count, group by, order by, lag, over, descending. So these are just some statements we can use in SQL. And if we click on solution portion, we get a portion of the solution so that you can have an idea or get an idea on how to solve it. Okay, so let's solve it by ourselves. I first suggest to you to solve it first on your own. And if you are unable to do it, or if you are stuck, or if you cannot get the correct solution, or even if you get the correct solution and you want to compare how you did with ours, you can resume the video. Okay, so let's do it. So first we need to understand the question very well. So I'll read the question and break it down step by step. So it says, for each day, display the total amount of admissions on that day. Display the amount changed from the previous day. Okay, so let's understand the question. It says that we need to display each day, and if we see the expected output here, we have the admission date. So it's from 2018 or the 6th of June of 2018, and then the 7th of June of 2018, and then the 8th. So it goes all the way, showing every day, every distinct date in the date column. So if you see we have 365 rows, maybe it's a whole year. So we need to select that first. So we need to select distinct and admission date from the admissions table. So if I run this query, I get the all the dates. I can order by admission date. So if I run this query, okay, I get the exact same column as this one. Okay, so this is just one part, but we also need to show this column, admission day. So that column, it's going to be the total amount of admissions on that day. So I need to count how many people attended the hospital each day. So for example, how many went in the 6th of June of 2018. So to do that, I need to count, and I can count uh, the admission date as well. And since I'm counting, I need to group by, and I can get rid of distinct here, and I'm grouping by admission date. So in this case, it's just counting how, for example, how many times 2018, sorry, it's the 6th of June of 2018 appears, and how many times this date appeared in the table. So if I run this query, I get the second column. So you can see in the first date, there were 17 people attending. In the second, 9 and 9 and 18. So as you can see, it's exactly the same as the expected output. I need just to give an alias to this column. So it's going to be admission day. Okay, so we got that one. And then it says, also display the amount changed from the previous date. So I need also to show this column. This is a little bit hard because I need to, for example, say what was the change in amounts one day versus the previous day. So for example, the first day attended 17 people, or 17 people went to the hospital. The next day, only 9 went to the hospital. So if we make 17 minus, sorry, 9 minus 17, or I can do the 9 minus, select 9 minus 17. Okay, let's see if I can run this. Yes, if I run this, I get minus 8. So the difference is that from the first day to the second day, the difference is 8 people. So 8 people less went to the hospital. But if it increased, for example, if I return to this query, so for example, okay, the third day, 9 people went to the hospital. And the fourth day, 18 people went to the hospital. So more people went that date than the previous day. So in this case, it's going to be 18 minus 9. So in that case, it's going to show 9. So it's exactly as here it is. So for example, you can see minus 8. And because that's the difference between these 2 days, and between the fourth and third day, 9 people more went the fourth day compared with the third day. And comparing the third day with the second day, like there were no difference. So there was no difference. So 0 people in like what's the difference between those 2 days. So I need to show that. So how am I going to do that? To do that, I need like we say we need to uh, subtract, for example, the second day minus the first day. So I need to admission, oh sorry. So I need to do the same count admission date minus itself, but but I need the previous one. So to do that, I'm using the lag function. So this lag function is going to just give me the previous row, the previous value in the previous row. So I'm going to do the same count, and I'm counting the admission date, and I need to close the parentheses, and I need to say over. Okay, I'm lagging that over, and I need to say order by admission date as admission count change. So that's the name of the column. Okay, so maybe I can format it a little bit better. So you can see I'm like showing the same, like the second column, the admission day, this one. But I'm subtracting it by itself, but lag one row. And I'm ordering by the admission date, just as it is here. And now if I run this query, we should get everything correct. So as you can see, that wasn't as easy as other SQL problems we have solved, but I hope this video is useful and helpful so that you can understand and you can enhance and improve your skills. As you can see, there are many other solutions to this problem. Some are more complex than others, but I think this is the easier one. So that's it, and I'll see you in the next video. Hi, in this video, we are going to solve an an advanced difficult SQL problem. So to do that, we need to head to sqlpractice.com. This is the website where you can practice your SQL skills. Then we need to select hospital DB because we will be working with hospital data. Then we need to click on view all questions. Then we click on difficulty hard, and then we scroll down until the last one, which says sort the province names in ascending order in such a way that the province Ontario is always on top. We select that one. Then we get rid of this so that our environment is clean. And now we can take a look at the table. So we have a province names table. If we click on the green arrow, we can see the rows inside. And if we click on the expected output, this is the output we should get after writing and running our code. If we click on get hint, we can see the solution keywords, for example, order by and case. If we click on get hint again, we can see a portion of the solution so that we can have an idea on how to approach it. Okay, so now I encourage you to solve it on your own, do it yourself, and if you are stuck or if you don't know how to approach to it, or if you don't get the correct solution, you can always come back and resume the video, and even if you did it correct, you can compare your result with mine. So let's do it together now. First, we need to understand the question, and I'll break it down for you step by step. So it says, sort the province names in ascending order in such a way that the province Ontario is always on top. So it seems easy. So it says sort the province names. So we have a province name column, and I can begin by doing that. Select province name from the table, which is province names, and I'll sort in ascending order. So I also order by province name, ascending order. I close the query, I run it, and here you can see the provinces sorted in alphabetical order. If I compare it with the expected output, we see that we don't have the correct solution yet, because it says in a way that the province Ontario is always on top. So as you can see, we have sorted in alphabetical order just as the expected output, but in this case the difference is that Ontario always appears at the top. Then the next ones, the next rows, are sorted in alphabetical order except for the first row. So we need to do that, or to solve that. And in that case, um, we need to do the following. I'll get rid of this, and I will do kind of sort of a subquery, but in this case, I will order by, and I'll use a case when province name equals Ontario, then 0, else 1. Okay, so I'll just do this, and I'll say end. Okay, so what's happening here? Okay, what I'm doing is the following. For example, if I just do this so that you can understand, select from province names. Okay, if I, for example, run this query, this is just an example, you can see that, okay, I'll just select province name, comma, and then case. Okay, so I'm doing this. When the province name is Ontario, it's going to get a 0. So you can see Ontario gets a 0 in another column. Instead, it's getting a number 1. So Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, all the other provinces get a number 1. All of them but Ontario. So I'm doing that, and so that what it's going to do is that, is that at the time I need to sort. I can sort by multiple criteria. So the first criteria is going to be this one. So in this case, it's going to order by the number. So in this case, the province which has the lowest number is going to appear first. Okay, so that's the first criteria in the order by. And then, so for example, if I run this query, you can see that we have Ontario, and I could just specify, I got the query correct, but I could just specify, for example, another criteria. So in this case, could be order by, after doing that, or order by province name in ascending order. So in this case, first is going to order by the number. So in this case, Ontario had 0, so it also goes to the top, and then it's going to order by, after meeting this requirement, it's going to sort by the name of the province in alphabetical order. So That's what gave us the correct solution. So you can see this is the solution. It's the same as the one the website provided, but here are some other alternative solutions you can come across and use it to solve this problem. So that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one.